welcome to the Jalt Call podcast. We're your hosts for the day, Brian Gallagher and
Geoff Carr from up here in slightly cooler Hokkaido.
Slightly cooler. It's not as 30, we're saying 38.6 it was in Nagoya area. You said it was what,
35 today is what it's supposed to get to here. So we're, chasing you, but hopefully not going to catch you.
Right, yeah.
That.
It's certainly the summer. It's the summer here already. Right, okay, so today we're going to try and talk about, as usual, EdTech this season and have a quick look back to last month's Jalt Call conference. So in section 1, we're going to try and talk a little bit about a report that's come out very recently from the Pew Research Centre. In section 2, we're going to try and talk a little bit about some summer ideas and things that we're going to be looking at, and also best of Jalt recommendations, which is something we've been asked by Jalt National, before we can wrap up with what's up on the horizon. So for section 1, Geoff, I've shared this. Yeah, so I guess there's lots of AI drowning every channel that we've got now, and so lots of studies being made. So of course this one comes from the Pew Research Centre. We'll have the link in the show notes, of course. So I picked this up through the Substack summary. So of course I'm always looking at my reviews. Consolidation services, is that what I've read it, and Substacks are.
That or there are ways to waste time and be social in there. But yeah, they are actually one of the best sources for information if you limit your interaction with them to the things that you really want to find out about.
Yeah, I think like Substacks and Reddits are probably where newspaper reporters are snooping around trying to find the scoop.
Substack and Reddit are extremely different, and actually sort of inhabiting a space in between those. Do you use Medium at all, Brian?
Medium? No. Tell me more.
Medium.
What is Medium?
Medium is basically an author hosting site that allows people with many, many different topics that they want to hold forth on to write on those, and it makes them accessible on a single platform. It is largely subscription based. I think authors can choose to make occasional articles free for anyone to read, but Medium is something that I've used a great deal for the last 3 or 4 years, and the breadth of the writing that's available, especially in tech, I found has been really interesting. But a lot of other stuff, wellness, there's a lot of great wellness writing on there. Some of it goes off to various fringes, but I mean that's what a platform like that is supposed to do, and it's really quite nice. And it inhabits, as I said, a space sort of between Reddit, which is very, very wide open, and Substack, which you're limited to generally a single author or publication that you subscribe to, right? Whereas Medium, your subscription gets you access to essentially all of the authors on the platform.
Cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. So I have a blog. I guess it's Microsoft's blog. Is it Microsoft or Google Blogger?
Google Blogger, yeah.
Google Blogger, and so usually after a conference or event or presentation, I usually write a report there. So I probably share that maybe through my LinkedIn or Facebook, or I use it as I want to get this word right. I sometimes get it wrong. Not suppository, a repository of my stuff. So when I'm trying to do like my
distinction
research,
there, yes, I agree.
Yeah. But for Research Map, when I have to update that, which I have to do quite regularly, but also my uni asks me every year to do a report on the previous year, and that's July. So I've got to get that done this month as well. If any of the listeners out there have to get your report done, don't forget it, because it causes trouble with your office later on.
This is true. So let's see, you bringing that up and using it as a repository of your observations and activities and everything along those lines how specific do you get when you're writing that into your activity report for the university for the year?
Well, I mean, it's usually just got links to the presentations, and it's a summary. And the good thing about that is, if I write an article, then maybe I don't. Maybe I have to give away the rights to
Hmm.
my uh, presentation or whatever it is. But I can still write like a summary version of that
Hmm.
that highlights it and then guide people to go to the official. And
Right.
so that saves any embarrassment from
Hmm.
anybody. So it
Does
also
your
it
uni
also
use, or did they ask you to use anything like a Creative Commons license or anything on those lines for that kind of stuff?
no, uni doesn't matter. The uni doesn't care about it at all. They're only worried about actual, uh, I guess, articles that you
Hmm.
then have to submit. I mean, I'm very, I'm the smallest fish in the sea, right? So I don't think it's too important. I'm not getting high citation numbers, sadly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do it. I do it properly, and I try to make sure that I'm not putting myself or anybody else in a difficult spot.
Hmm.
But so this medium, you reckon that this is uh, somewhere kind of like quite professional and a good way to write it? Like I've never heard of it before, so
It
I don't know.
it absolutely spans the entire spectrum. There are authors on there who write extremely detailed instructionals for implementing different kinds of tech on your
Mm-hmm.
website or on your platform, or they
Mm,
just break down different things that they have reviewed and taken apart and evaluate them to the nth degree. There's a lot of
right.
that. There are some people who are writing in the foreign affairs space or just news. There are people who write in history. There's a lot of wellness blogging going on out there as well. I believe Medium is used by some of the people who write for Unseen Japan, which is a site that addresses a lot of social issues in Japan from a foreign perspective, but not necessarily a foreign perspective, from a foreign or foreign experienced perspective, because they have a lot of Japanese writers who
Mm.
also write, but they generally write in English, in my experience. So yeah, it's extremely broad. It's not professional in that sense, but it's professionally done.
Unseen Japan. Unseen Japan. Is that kind of like similar to a Japan Today kind of service?
Um, I would not be able to say because I'm not familiar with Japan Today. Japan Today is more a
Okay.
news aggregator, isn't it? I
Right.
remember
Yeah. Kind
seeing.
of. Yeah.
Was Unseen Japan, I believe they write pretty much everything on here. It's all or mostly original.
Right.
So kind of like an independent Substack on Japan issues, maybe would be one take on what Unseen Japan is.
Right.
Hmm. I
Japan,
like a
Japan.
lot of their stuff. I find things to disagree on there too. So for me, that's incredibly ideal. I mean, I get to agree and disagree with different things and keep my brain and but I guess my gallbladder active by being angry at certain things. So whatever.
Right. Okay. So you've mentioned your gallbladder. It's time to move on. Right. Okay. Let's
It
get
is
into
time to
this
move
part.
on, but at least I did not mention suppositories, so I'm not going there. Yeah.
Well,
Getting
maybe
back
we
to
could get
policy.
maybe we could get a sponsor out of that.
Ah,
You can do the jingles, that
but
yeah,
would we want that
like
sponsorship?
Joey and
Yes.
Friends. Right. So you were talking about like people in the news. I had lunch, a luncheon, a lovely, a very nice bento with uh, Ikegami Akira, who
Hmm.
is on the TV. Maybe people know him. He talks about geopolitics and social studies. And I asked him a question at the lunchtime. I said, like, how can we get students involved or interested in geopolitical sciences or social sciences? Because it's quite a tough topic. And he gave the example of Calpy potato chips. and the fact that, because of the naphtha shortage that has
Yes.
seriously affected us, or notably affected us and young people. So if your local potato chips, if people outside of Japan don't know, because of a naphtha shortage coming into Japan, that the potato chips company Calbee had to stop printing in color the potato chip package. And
Yes,
so they're
black
now
and white or monocolor,
silver,
monotone
right? Yeah, they're in
bags.
silver,
Yeah.
on the silver bags. So I guess his answer was basically try to find something that is relatable to young people,
Mm.
and then from there
Mm-hmm.
you can get into it. So he asked, did that answer my question? And I thought, okay, so the answer is potato chips. But yeah, I kind of get it.
There you go.
With that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, Brian,
they
you
were meant.
do a writing course for students, don't you?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be interested in how you apply that kind of principle for finding things that are relatable or interesting with giving students writing topics. That do you try to get them to write about things along those lines, or is it more structured for just more a scaffolded approach?
It's quite structured at my place, but we have a bit of freedom in our English Communication 5 course, which is a third year ecom class. So my students just finished a project which was called. Let me remember what it was called. It was called Separating Truth from Fiction.
Hmm.
In the project, the students need to find some original article that has a claim, and then that claim is investigated through lateral research. So, looking at other sources that either verify or contradict the original claim. And the students have to find an article that comes from some kind of respected news source or some source. They need to investigate the author, like who is the author, what's their social,
Mm-hmm.
political kind of like bias. They have to research the company behind it, whether it's like BBC or CNN or NHK or something like that, and find out if there's any political or religious bias behind that. And then they find the different articles. And the whole point of the project is just researching, looking for truth. Like that, you need to have 3 or 4 sources that say the same thing in order to at least state that these are the reasons like why you believe in it. So the idea is that we do that in the third year communication class, so that in their fourth year final project that they are actually quite well attuned at like verifying information, not just taking
They
top line.
understand the rules, the process by which you have to validate
Right. And
sources.
so they have to come to a
Hmm.
conclusion, like I found truth or this was fiction, and
Hmm.
so it's all justified. So they just, students did a good job. Some of them, of course, the first time you do it is very superficial and just scraping the surface. But if they get another chance to do that kind of project, then hopefully they'll get more into it, because it takes a bit of time.
And dig
But
in a
actually, that
little bit
leads us
more.
beautifully into this
Hmm.
the Pew Research study. So, of course, the study that we're looking at, links will be in the show notes, is about how people are seeing AI around the world. But the Pew Research Center is, of course, uh, all done in America, because the Pew Research Center is
Hmm.
in the United States. And so they were asking people who use AI or AI bots, which ones that they use. Top ones were ChatGPT or Chappie. I found out.
Yes.
Yeah, Chappie. I didn't know what it was. That Chappie. Gemini, Copilot, Meta AI, Character AI, and Grok. And so basically, from the results that they were given, and actually the Substack kind of like summarizes well. Pew has got lots of great
Hmm.
graphics in it. They were saying that about a quarter of US adults use chatbots daily,
That
24%.
was actually the finding which was most surprising to me, and I was surprised that it was that low for people using it daily. Now, I guess if your sample also includes the entire U.S. population, I'd like to
Mm.
see the age breakdown and the usage breakdown here, because
So
if you get a
yeah,
lot of retired people with that, maybe I don't
yeah,
know.
they've got that. They've got that. So, but that's 24%. So basically, a quarter use it daily, but
Mm,
another quarter say they use it several times a week. So basically, it's about half. So it's about kind of half and half are using chatbots, and
Right.
half are not. And so major reasons for using it is just that they were either interested in it or not interested in it. Of course, like privacy, concerned about their personal info. So of course there's the trust. But predominantly it's young people that are using it, like under 30
Mm.
are using it more. Like people 50 up, like not so much. And even from those people under the age of 30, those groups are mostly using ChatGPT,
Mm. Well,
whereas like
one of the
people in
really
their
interesting findings there is that 1 in 5 adults under 30 say they get emotional support from chatbots. That's a higher figure than for older adults, right there. I mean, they're using
uh
it to search for information, for work tasks, and editing videos and images, and all the stuff that we know. But emotional support being that high, especially
but that,
for
but
groups 18 to 29-year-olds,
right.
that's a lot.
But I think like emotional support comes in a huge package. So at the really low numbers, it was like for companionship is like down in the single figures. Like so
Mm,
that's really low. But for emotional support, like you were saying, like well-being, that comes under the
mm.
category of emotional support. Like mental well-being, entertainment. Like
That's true.
diets,
And
fitness, all that stuff.
when you consider how work from home has become so much more common, and that it seems like younger people are more likely to be working from home than many others,
Mm,
that some recent studies have indicated that can be isolating and it can put
mm-hmm.
stress on people mentally. So perhaps coping with work from home, or just coping with the fact of being alone for so much of your work time, is one of
Right.
the ways that people reach out to one of the chatbots. Reach out to one of the
Mm-hmm.
chatbots. That's an extremely anthropomorphized way to put that, isn't it?
But
Engage with one of the chatbots. Yeah.
it's good. It's good, especially if you're using voice to voice. Like speaking with the Alexa or your whatever's the Google like home thing or whatever. Just
Hmm.
being able to talk and get that audio, like it kind of replaces
Okay, wait a minute,
conversation.
wait a minute, wait a minute. I need to follow up on this. Brian, are you a smart speaker household?
We have one, two, three of the Amazon devices which are
Oh
listening to us all
my.
the time.
You are a
That's when my wife
multiple
doesn't
smart
unplug it.
speaker household. Huh.
Yeah, but no, we don't. We don't have light bulbs and curtains, like that are on voice
Hmm.
activation. I went to Gary Ross's house and he had that. Like you could change the colors, the hues. I think it was Philips
Right.
Hue was the light bulbs.
The
Or you could
Philips
close the
Hue
curtains with
bulbs,
rollers
yeah.
and stuff like that. Not that high tech, but it's good to have music. And I listen to the radio like kind of like quite a bit,
Hmm.
rather than watching telly. When I'm cooking or whatever, I want to just listen to something. And our house is not that big. It's not like the kids live in the east wing of the building, and I'm using the devices to call them for dinner.
Yes.
But I used it a lot when my
Not
mother was
from your study,
alive.
but from your second study, right? Yes, exactly.
Well, I mean, it's like from the gatehouse to the main house. It's a good 15-minute drive.
Hmm. Well, one
Um,
needs exercise, doesn't one?
so I wanted to kind of like go back to this Pew research. So like I was talking about my project, like of discovering truth from fiction or separating truth from fiction. So 60%. So this research said 60% of adults say that they read the AI summaries at the top of a search engine result. 60%, 30% say they don't,
Hmm.
10% say they're not sure. But I think students, in my experience, what I'm seeing in my classes is that students are just using it as like a Google search. It's equivalent to a
Yes.
Google search, but it's better because it just summarizes everything,
Hmm. No,
which is not good.
that's exactly it, because people are using it like a search engine because the interface either looks like a search engine or they use a search engine interface and get an AI summary instead of search results, right? Because of where it's
Mm.
positioned there. Now, I mean, okay, the impact on ad revenue and click revenue, and that is kind of obvious here. But I
Mm.
think it sounds like you're more worried about the impact on critical thinking, perhaps, or just the ability for people to process information and to sort through different sources.
Yeah, so it's just taking the first answer is the easiest thing to do. Like it's without
Mm,
really, like looking at it in any way whatsoever, which I think is really bad for quality. Like it's convenience is going to kill quality.
no,
Like
it's absolutely the case, and if people need to be taught, I think, to click through and check different options. If that
mm,
exists in your search, and it exists in most web search, it seems like now, you can either go below it and start to look directly at the links, or you can maybe get some good out of it, but immediately click through those links and see what they say and try to
mm.
understand why the AI is recommending these particular things to you. But maybe more importantly, which were eliminated and why ones were eliminated and not displayed to you. I
Instead of
think they have to
sponsored
look at both
over.
sides. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was at university back a million years ago at University of Glasgow, we had an IT class where they taught us about Boolean searches, uh,
Mm,
and so when you were doing a search, it was like your plus and your minus, like, so I want to search for this,
yes.
but I specifically don't want these ones. And I tried to show these to students and they thought, why is he doing a math equation like in the search bar? And I was thinking, to
Hmm.
get the concept of we want this, we don't want that.
Right.
And it's, like when you're trying to like, say to students, like, so putting maybe even just your search in inverted commas so that you're only searching
Hmm.
for that exact phrase. And the students are thinking like, why? It's never been explained. So yes, I think they have to be taught, but I think it's also, I would use the word conditioning, that we have to
Mm,
condition them and say like, this is how you do it, 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 and just get used to it, and you'll get
hmm.
better quality out of it.
Mm.
Probably
Well,
students don't even know there's a second page in Google, or a third page, or a fourth page, or a fifth page,
well,
or
many people don't, and even a lot of people who are using it who aren't students anymore, who are using
mm,
these AIs professionally, don't really think about why the AI is choosing what it's choosing to display in that. Sure, you mentioned, and I'm right with you there, that probably there is a finger on the scale for sponsored versus unsponsored results, right? But
mm,
also the AI's reason in their J space, Jacobian space, right?
mm,
Where they are figuring out how words connect to each other, not only syntactically, but also semantically. And those happen at different levels of of the AI's reasoning, right?
mm,
And understanding why certain words you put in there are going to anchor the AI to go down one road, whereas another set of words, maybe with Boolean operators, like you're talking about here, plus and minus, might direct it to a different road. You have to understand a little bit, at least, about how the AI chooses. And I
mm.
think most people don't really want to do that when they're searching. I don't know,
Well,
but
yeah. I mean,
it's.
they always just say
Mm,
it's the algorithm or the logarithm. You don't even know what the difference is between those two. But
mm,
back to the Pew survey. So there was roughly 2/3 of the Americans say that AI is advancing too quickly. I would probably agree with that. That the AI is kind of out of the gate now,
mm,
and so it's it will work out well if there are guidelines or not. I don't want to say barriers. Barriers is not the word that I'm looking for. What do we call not guidelines,
challenges.
barriers?
There's regulations.
Yeah, regulations. So I was thinking like a lot of America looks as if they're trying to tear up the rules and regulations uh, now in
Well,
politics. So guardrails is the word I was looking for.
guardrails. Okay, there you go.
Guardrails, like so. Yeah, I guess we could get into the depths of rules and policy and guidelines and guardrails and yeah, not everybody knows the difference between each of those. So
I
it can
don't
be
think I know the difference between some of those anymore, given the way things are going, really. But doesn't it kind of come down to the fact that people are, in some ways, maybe influenced by news or the particular news silo that they're in to think AI is going to either be a positive impact on society, a negative impact on society, or neutral? This is another one of the Pew questions. And recently, it feels like people are trending more negatively, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the glut of information. There's too much, so people, like learned people are now becoming unlearned because just the volume of stuff that's out there, you can't, you've not got time to digest it. Like there's too much. I listened to a podcast the other day that was saying that people get more information in a day in modern life than they used to get in a year, like 50 years ago. And I was thinking, I could well believe that, like the amount of stuff that's coming through. So,
and
so there's a lot of negativity.
It makes you want to reevaluate, how are we actually defining information? Is information just facts that run through your neurons some way or another, or through your sensorium, or is it actually something that you interact with and act on? If you take it to that level, I don't know what to say. I know that I'm advising my students to be a lot more intentional about what it is that they are doing. Are you a fan of William James, Brian?
William James, the wrestler?
No, the other William James. No, the guy, but the educational psychologist from
American
about a century ago or so.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a wee bit before my time. I think he's dead 1910.
Yeah, I know. We went to the beach together when I was a kid there. But one important thing that he said that I use with my students just before summer vacation, and that's why it's so close to my mind right now, is a very short quote. My experience is what I agree to attend to. Right there. And I walk through the students through that and ask them to think about it and come up with some comments or questions related to that in class. And, being very intentional about what we pay attention to, that sense of us agreeing with that, needing to agree to something before it actually becomes an experience for us. And just like you mentioned, we are overwhelmed with information, this flow of information. Overwhelming amount of information is the same as no information at all, right? If we agree to try to pay attention to that, then it just shuts down our ability to process it. But if we develop our ability to ignore it, right, and to focus on just what we want to focus on, that's what I feel like James is saying here, that our experience is something that we have to agree to pay attention to.
Yeah, I'm reading one here, a quote that the greatest discovery of any generation is that a human can alter his life by altering his attitude. Yeah, sounds like a philosophy type of thing. There's a great one I picked up as a Japanese one. Japanese is Seiryoku Saizen Katsuyo. So
Seiryoku Saizen Katsuyo.
Yeah, so basically, kind of, we live by our choices, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or you're the master of your own kind of like fortune. But I guess we do the best that we can with what we've got. What we've got. Right. Okay, that's going to wrap us up for section 1.
Considerably longer section 1 than we were intending. Here we go.
Yeah, section 1 we kind of longer there, so we'll smooth down section 2 and 3. Right, okay, join us after the break. All right, okay, welcome back, part 2 for our July studio talk with me and Geoff. Geoff, we're going to try and go quickly here through, I called it summer fun, but I guess it's we're going to be wrapping up classes soon, exams finishing soon after that, then marking, and then we have slight freedom. So hopefully the month of August we'll get a chance to play with a few things and read up on some stuff. So
I hope so, but let's face it, Brian, we may have a slightly different definition of fun than other people do.
Working
So
fun.
please, folks,
Working fun.
don't leave now just because we said the word fun. I promise that some of this stuff will actually be fun. I hope.
So,
Okay.
I've been working with Claude for the last year, and so I'm sharing the show notes. There's a nice Claude code cheat sheet. So if you're playing with Claude, that's an updated sheet. It's coming out. It's coming in through a Reddit link, but it's very useful, and it's just kind of like make things kind of like quicker. It's kind of like shortcut keys for when you're using your computer for doing lots of things. So yeah, Claude, get into Claude. I don't know if there's a lot of people are doing Claude, or if it's just that the algorithm has got me down the rabbit hole of, it's the major thing. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking at during the summer. Plus, I'm going to be looking at alpha schools, which we're going to talk about maybe in the next podcast. We'll put the links in for the alpha schools. It's run by a woman called MacKenzie Price, a co-founder of what's the 2-hour learning and alpha schools, revolutionizing K-12 education.
Revolutionizing. So there we go. Yes.
Revolutionizing K-12 education. So that program is kind of, I thought of it like a summer program where you do lessons in the morning, and then the afternoon is kind of project time or experience time. So that's a new kind of like school of excellence kind of thing, similar but not the same to a Montessori style of school where students get good results, and it's quite novel.
Okay. Excellent. Next podcast, man. Next podcast. We got to cut them off there, or else we're going to be in trouble.
We'll do it in August.
Yes, that'll be great.
So what are you going to do?
Also,
what are you going to be looking at?
Well, in the summertime, I always love to listen to podcasts. So we got to give a shout out to Brent Warner, our keynote speaker at Jolt Call 2026, the DIESOL podcast. And that, Brent, hope everything's going well in California and you're not burning up in a forest fire as you listen to this or anything along those lines. But some other podcasts too. I don't know what kind of podcasts you listen to, man, but I like Cal Newport's Deep Questions podcast, which is
right. You've said that before, right?
A lot of fun. I've talked about that one before, and also the No Stupid Questions podcast is quite excellent. Really, and for anyone No Stupid Questions, yeah. For anyone who is doing a reading program or teaching reading to anyone who doesn't have phonics training, that the Sold a Story podcast miniseries is an excellent listen on how the U.S. education system got away from phonics and caused a great deal of trouble for many, many children's reading skills from the late 90s through sometime in the aughts, probably more into the teens here. Really, there are still some people out there who have not heard this story yet, but those are some excellent ones that I'll be listening to, plus some sports stuff, because it's
right. So that's kind of elementary education or even pre-elementary, right?
Well, I know in Sweden they make a fairly big deal about not teaching reading explicitly until students are in school, like age 7. And the Waldorf schools also do the same. In the US, I admit, people who are crazy about phonics tend to get into it much earlier. And I didn't know either side of the discussion, so I started teaching my kids phonics probably around ages 4 or 5. But what about you? What happens in Scotland, or what have you done with your kids here?
Well, in Scotland, you start school at 5, so we do 7 years of primary school. So
Mm,
you get them in early, but yeah, usually at preschool or nursery, we call it nursery school. You're already be doing your abaca. We
hmm.
don't normally call it the ABC because ABC is only for uppercase, so your phonics are really your
Right.
abaca. So yeah, we usually
Okay.
sing that abaca, to sing that song kind of easier. But
Wow, that's the first time I've
yeah,
heard
I'm
that.
still
That's interesting.
yeah, yeah, I do that instead of doing the ABC because everybody knows ABC and they're kind of thinking like, wow,
Mm.
that's kind of mental that you do it that way. And I say like, well, I think it's probably more mental that you do it ABC because A for
Well,
apple is not an
I
A
would
sound,
kind of
right?
agree. And now I need to find a YouTube video of that.
For an abaca. Yeah. Right. So
Yeah.
if you're talking about podcasts, so uh, podcasts that I would probably recommend. So of course, like the DIESOL is good for American West Coast stuff with Brent, like in teaching ideas. I also listen to Mike Rowe. So it's not a tech, not an education
Mike
podcast.
Rowe.
His podcast is
Okay.
called The Way I Heard It. So he's the
Mm-hmm.
guy from Dirty Jobs, like or The Deadliest Seas. He does the voiceover stuff like that. So he's got a great radio voice, and he's got lots of guests on. His thing is all about not university education, but he stresses a lot about trades. So like the Dirty Jobs show was all about trades, like electricians, joiners, plumbers, like construction workers, all those kind of like physical jobs. So of course, with data centers needing to be constructed, like all around the
Mm,
world. There's more need for people to actually do the building. Uh,
mm.
tradies, I guess, is the Australian kind of phrase that they use for basically kind of workman training. But he's got a lot of people on. Actually, I like listening to that podcast because I don't like some of the ideas that I hear. But I think it's really important for me to be listening to stuff that I don't like as well as stuff that I do like.
I
Because
couldn't
I'm
agree
I'm
with
a
you
European
more on that. Hmm.
as a European, like I often disagree with North American ideas, especially the kind of political stuff. Um,
uh, I
but I think
think,
that's what we should do.
yeah, actually, you have to break outside of your silo and get out of the echo chamber that's created by just going deeper and deeper into things you agree with. You're right.
Yeah.
You got to listen to opposing views, or at least different views that offer something different than you think of. All right, well, that's
Uh,
a great selection of podcasts for
can
anybody
I
to
can
listen
I can
to.
I chuck in just a late one just for
Oh,
fun?
really? Okay, yes.
Yeah, and so it's from the BBC. It's called Strong Message Here, and
Hmm.
it's basically it's Armando Iannucci who uh, he's a very creative Scottish writer. He did the TV show called In the Thick of It, which became a
Mm-hmm.
movie, and then there was like an American version called Veep. Which is all about the White House and politics, and so they analyze, like all the phrases and all the rhetoric that they use, like in different places, and they pick it apart. So yeah, in the strong message here. It's really good. It's very good. It's very entertaining. It's quite sharp. It's kind of on
Hmm.
point. So it's nothing to do with education, but it's just good for
Mm-hmm.
entertainment.
That sounds excellent. Okay, I'll have to look at that too. I have more things to do during the summer then. Perfect.
No free
Just
time.
perfect.
So we've been asked by Jalt, the main group, for recommendations for best of Jalt season 2025-2026.
Mm-hmm.
So the awards are hold on. So we'd like listeners to write into us, like either text, comment, etc. Any of the outlets, email us at program@call.org. So any presentation that stood out for you in the last year. So, for example, if you would like to nominate a podcast episode, Studiotalk, or an interview or similar, then we can put your idea forward. If you'd like to nominate anyone, please contact us. It looks like from within the Basecamp group, our administration group. Geoff, who's the hot runner? Who's the hot runner?
Well, for Jolt Call, I'd say the current hot runner would be Glenn Stockwell. His keynote at the 2025, the 2025 Jolt Call conference, Learning to Tame the Tiger, Self-Directed Professional Development and Language Teaching with Artificial Intelligence, generated a whole lot of discussion at the conference afterwards. There was a glow around groups that were talking about Glenn. So we got the most feedback positive feedback, let me say, on Glenn's keynote as well. So that would probably be first among equals at this moment. I don't know. Do you have anything else you'd like to propose on that list?
Not right now. I think there are different smaller presentations, but I don't want to influence people by saying any kind of specific one right now. Of course, I would love for our podcast group to get a nomination, but it's a total conflict of interest if we say we should give ourselves a prize. But of course, if anybody else out there, any keen listener would like to propose it, then we can put it forward. But I guess the best of JAL, it has to be a majority of people nominate it. So I guess we keep on trying to get better at what we are doing. And yeah, I'd quite fancy an award. But I think Glenn's talk, that was a Sunday talk at Tokyo.
Yes, the Sunday morning talk.
Yeah, and so it was very well.
Tokyo University of Science, Katsushika, right there. Yeah.
Right. And so he was really talking, like to teachers, like about using the technology. So it resonated. What was the word? Resonated with quite a lot of people. Yeah, quite a lot of people. So. Of course, I guess we can consider JAL Call 2026. So if there was a presentation there, but I think this is supposed to be for the previous year, and then those awards get given out at JAL International, which this year is in Nagoya. At right. I think it's Chukyo University, the same as where the Pansig was.
Oh, I don't think it is. Isn't it at the large conference center downtown this year? I'm sorry, I am blanking on the name right now.
Yeah, where is that?
Wink Aichi. Wink. Yes.
The W, right? Okay, so that's Nakamura-ku. So that is just west of Nagoya Central. Wink Aichi.
Is that actually what WINK stands for? It's like West in Nagoya Central or something like that? No, I know it's going to have a different meaning, but
yeah, it was probably some international something center, something like that. I mean, it's really called Aichi Labor and Labor Center, which Aichi Industry and Labor Center, which doesn't really match up with the acronym. It should be WILC.
Well, not really, but hey, we didn't name it, and we don't have to pay for it. So I guess.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a forum there as well, right?
The JAL Call forum will be there. The content has not yet been decided, but the time, in fact, has. We've been given a prime Saturday morning 11 a.m. slot. I believe that's immediately after the opening ceremony and opening plenary. So everybody keep your eyes out for that.
Hopefully we'll be in that same large hall like we had at the international, was it the sports, the Olympic Center?
Yogi going, or the Youth Olympic Center there.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Great stuff. Right. Join us in part 3. We're going to just quickly wrap up with what's coming up in the fall. See you after the break. Right, okay, welcome back to part 3 of the pod for July with me and Geoff. So we're just going to try and wrap up with events that are coming up soon enough. So, of course, JALCOL Trends Journal, the next submission deadline. When is that deadline submission, Geoff?
Next deadline currently is August 23rd, Brian, and
Right.
the JALCOL Trends Journal. A lot of people out there probably remember that it used to be the conference, the post-conference proceedings, but now it is not limited to that. So if you were at JALCOL 2026 and have something to submit that you presented there, that is great. But if you have another piece of work, paper, something that you want to submit and try to get published in Trends, we would be happy to work with you on that basis as well, whether you were in attendance or not. So please send in whatever it is that you want to try to get published.
Right, and so of course they're small articles. They're 2,500 words, including all the bells and whistles, or there or thereabouts. So yeah, check the guidelines. We'll put the link into the show notes. Soon after that, in September, if you're in the Okayama area, if you're linked with Okayama JALT, so I've been invited down by our conference photographer, Tim Clemenson. He invited me down to give a speech there. And it's going to be talking about technology and blended learning. So I had previously a board teacher project, so talking about board work and how to lay things out. So it's a wee bit kind of like design and using tech and how to use them nicely in your classes. So that's going to be a Saturday down in Okayama. We'll add the dates into the links as well.
That sounds excellent.
Soon after that, then there's going to be, there's 2 Okinawa events coming up. So there's an event in October, and it's around the Naha tug of war competition, where they have 2 sides of the city on either side of, I think, the world's biggest rope that they actually make there on island. I think they make the rope before they do the pulling, and then probably I only imagine it's something like building the pyramids. And having like
how
hundreds
is it
of
that
people.
I have never heard of this before? I don't think I have ever heard of the great North Naha versus South Naha tug of war. That's
yeah. So we'll check it out. So they've got that event in October, and then there's going to be another in December, and I think probably right through in February there'll be the STEAM conference, which we sponsored last year, and we'll probably try and sponsor again this year. So if anybody from JALCOL wants to go down to Okinawa in February, March time, that STEAM conference will also be happening. So yeah, Okinawa JALT, I've got a refresh with a new president, Norman Fuel, who is a JALT caller, and of course we get George McLean down there, who's a JALT caller as well. So they're having a full reboot. In fact, if anything, Norman has totally re-energized Okinawa JALT with podcast, YouTubes. Like, he is firing on all cylinders down there. So if you get the chance and you've got money in your pocket, yeah,
go Norman and go to Okinawa. There we go. Yeah,
Okinawa. Yeah. Right. Okay. And then the last thing is, what's the last thing?
The JALT International Conference in Nagoya, which we just talked about. There will be a JALTCOL forum there. We mentioned that before. 11 o'clock on Saturday. Please come and talk with us and ask your EdTech questions and engage with us on whatever question, discussion, or debate we decide to put up for the forum. I'd like to see you all there.
And so that's on the Saturday. Most likely I'll be there because I'm in the Nagoya area. And we should most likely have a JALCOL table in the tables room, so near to the sponsors, probably near to the posters, I think, as well. And so if you want to come down and have a chat with us, please come down. Bring me a coffee and a donut. I'll be probably sitting there for far too long. If you get
coffee and
if
a
you
donut,
get the chance.
Brian will talk to you forever, yes. So
well, I mean, yeah, I might have my microphone, and you can do an impromptu interview, right there and then. Yeah, right, Geoff. That
is it
us.
impromptu? Is it impromptu if they know to
I
prepare
don't know.
for
I
it
don't know
from now?
vocabulary
Yeah.
anymore. My brain's scrambled. I need a summer holiday. I need a summer holiday.
Well, you
Actually,
need to go get some lunch, I believe. So yeah.
our local pool, our city, some generous person in the city gave the city probably somewhere in the region of $10 million, which is
Wow.
madness, like a huge amount of money. Gave it to the city under the one condition that the city used the money exclusively to completely rebuild the community outdoor pool. So they've got a
Oh,
50
that
meter
is
pool, a
outstanding.
25-meter pool, and they've got like a kind of kids paddling pool. And it was
Mm.
really crummy before. Like the water was good, the staff were good, the car park was garbage. But now they've spent a whole load of money redoing it. So yeah, I'm going to try and get down the pool and cool off.
All right. Well, you go enjoy the pool, man. I'm going to be in the
Right,
air conditioning here for a little bit more, but I
right, everybody.
did a 20-kilometer bike ride this morning. So when it was still cool here in Hokkaido.
20K.
So,
Go, Geoff.
yep.
Go, Geoff. Right, we'll
That's
see you
fun.
all on the other side of the summer break.
All right. See you
All
all,
right,
guys.
bye, everybody.
Enjoy wherever
Bye.
you are. And if you need some cool, come to Hokkaido. Goodbye.